Good evening, everyone. This is Robert Newkirk, and I'd like to welcome you back to our YouTube channel. In today's podcast, we are interviewing Mrs. Katrina Walker. Ms. Katrina Walker is the co-founder and executive director of Walker's Winners, a nonprofit organization in St. Louis, Missouri. She co-founded this organization with her son, Jordan Walker, who's the outfielder for the St. Louis Cardinals. Katrina Walker, she has a degree from Harvard University. She also has degrees from Emory University in Atlanta and Washington University in St. Louis, Missouri. She has 25 years in public education, and she has taught 9th grade, 11th grade, and 12th grades, served as an IB coordinator and department chair, and led a 400-member National Honor Society organization. She believes that every student deserves access to rigorous and engaging education, regardless of zip code or family's bank account. Her personal statement is the philosophical term of budgeting in 3 dimensions. Katrina has said, personal experience has taught me that one's ability to come to fruition through access to opportunities and resources, coupled with one's own hard work. When we invest in young people, when we help them manifest their potential, not only do we make them better, but we make our communities better because we honor the commitment we should have to each other and to our future. So sit back and stay tuned because this is going to be good. And I'd like to introduce you to Mrs. Katrina Walker. Good evening, everyone. This is Robert Newkirk coming to you with another series in budgeting in 3 dimensions. And I'm really excited today to be sitting with you because I really have a special guest. She is an amazing woman. She has done some great things. And I want to introduce you to her personally. And I would like y'all to meet Mrs. Katrina Walker. Ms. Katrina Walker is a teacher, an educator. And as we all know, those are probably for each individual the most influential people in our lives. And I wanted you to get the budgeting in 3 dimensions perspective from her. Now she's a little sophisticated, but yet at the same time really low key and down to earth. So you're going to love her. She received her bachelor's degree from Harvard University, and then went on to get her master's in secondary education from Emory University. And so, yes, without further ado, Miss Katrina Walker, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you for that introduction.
Okay, all right. Well, the least I could do, I had to bring out some emphasis a little bit. So we've been talking a little bit. I'm really fascinated by the fact that with your background, that you actually became an educator. And I'm so excited about that in that regard. So my first question to you is, what was your key motivator that drove you to excel in your pursuit of education?
Great question. I think about that too as a teacher because I want to know what is that fire that lights my students and kind of how to ignite it. So I'll tell you a little bit about my journey. So I just love learning. I was always curious. And so my parents were committed to, making sure that all of us were challenged. So I'm the oldest of 3. And so just being attentive to what they saw in us and making sure to provide us opportunity to develop that. So my mom was educated in parochial schools. So she went to Catholic schools all her life and went to a Black boarding school. So I didn't really even know those were a thing, but she grew up in Montgomery, Alabama. And so went to a boarding school there. So anyway, it was important to me to do the best that I could in school. Like I knew that my parents sacrificed to put me in school. And so I saw it as a personal responsibility to do my best when I was there. And so was fortunate just to have classes that challenged me. And I'm an English teacher, so I clearly have a love for literature. But when I was in high school, I loved math as well. Like algebra was my favorite math class. I love the logic that is expected in those word problems with the trains, leaving different spots. So just was able to get an education that pushed me and gave me opportunities. And so as a result, I had a chance to go to Harvard. And when I was in high school, I did a study abroad exchange program where I went to Hiroshima, Japan, and spent 8 weeks over the summer with a family, the Kanamuras, in Japan, and loved it because it just broadened my horizons. I'd grown up in Georgia my whole life, and so that was my first time out of the country, and certainly spending time in a very different culture. And so that awakened my interest in East Asian studies. And so that's what I majored in at Harvard, which then, there would be a story of how I then get to be an English teacher from majoring in East Asian studies at college.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's interesting that you say in Japan, because that was one of the first places that I got a chance to visit overseas. I love Japan. It's just absolutely gorgeous. So it sounded like your trip to go over to Japan was an influence in your bachelor's degree.
Yes.
So what made you decide that you wanted to become a teacher?
Oh, what a winding road that was. So growing up, I knew more what I didn't want to do than what I did. So my grandmother was an elementary school teacher and then a principal. In fact, one of the first principals of an integrated elementary school in Montgomery. And then my aunts on my mother's side were teachers. And so I knew about teaching, but that just seemed like something other people did. My mom is a lawyer, and I had no desire to be a lawyer. My father was an accountant, and so also had no desire to be an accountant. So I just kind of knew what I didn't want to do, but I did somehow picture myself with a job that required me having a briefcase and flying to different parts of the world. So something maybe international business, something that sounded like really spiffy. So kind of pursued more what I thought I should do, like having gone to Harvard and certainly been around people in professional careers like law and accounting. So I imagined that I would do something kind of in a business field. So after I graduated from college, I went to work for my father. He had his own accounting firm. And so loved that in the sense that I got a chance to see just the things that are required to run your own firm. And also the pressure, it is a huge responsibility just because that people's livelihoods are dependent on your ability to generate business. So I just appreciated kind of my father's leadership and his commitment to one, being a top-notch Black business, but also to his employees and the respect that they had for him and the love, honestly, that they had for him. So it was a great kind of chance for me to see from the inside, something that I had grown up with all my life. But knew that I needed a graduate degree. So I actually went to WashU and was on a PhD track for business economics. Got married, so came out with a terminal master's, and then got a job at IBM. And so really was on their sales side and discovered what I really didn't want to do, which was sales. So in a corporate environment, I was fortunate because I had a fantastic boss. Like I was really it wasn't the company, it was me. Like, it just was not a good fit for me. And so I really had to reflect on what I thought about when I wasn't thinking about anything. Like, what excited me when I wasn't thinking about what I should do, and more thinking about what do I enjoy doing. And so I just found myself being called to be a teacher. And so, I'd known that I'd done different things, or kind of seen myself in different types of careers. So I didn't want to, go invest in an education and it ended up not being a good fit. So I left IBM, but I did AmeriCorps for a year. So
Mhm.
for those who remember, it was a government initiative that was supposed to be the domestic Peace Corps that allowed needs to be met in local communities in a variety of ways. So the Atlanta AmeriCorps partnered with Hands of Atlanta and served under-resourced public schools. And so for that year, I worked in two schools, one an alternative school attached to a Catholic church, St. Luke's, and then a larger public school, South Atlanta. So I, as a team leader, managed a team that worked. I had part of the team work at St. Luke's and the other part work at South Atlanta. And I found that I liked it. So I then went to Emory and got that Master's of Arts in Teaching. And then, I had been educated in private schools, but I'm really committed to public schooling. Like, that is the backbone of the nation. Like, if we don't get that right, then that means the majority of our young people are not getting the education that they deserve to have and that we need them to have as a country. So I went to work in a public school in DeKalb County and worked there for 13 years, and then moved to another public school and have been working there. This is my 9th year there. So I've worked in two public high schools since I got my degree in teaching.
Wow, that's absolutely fascinating. And man, this is only segment one that we're doing right now. This is segment one. So folks, we're going to go ahead. We're going to go into segment two, and we're going to talk a little bit more. We're going to switch it because this education thing, I kind of see is starting to melt into this thing, budgeting in 3 dimensions. And so we're going to find out what that is. So stay tuned for segment 2 of our series in budgeting in 3 dimensions. This is Robert Newkirk, and I would like to thank you for visiting our YouTube channel. If you like some more information about Walker's Winners, feel free to visit their website at www.walkerswinners.org. And also, I'd like to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and find some more information about us at our website, www.robertfnewkirk.com. Thank you so much for visiting, and I look forward to the next opportunity to talk to you around our theme, budgeting in 3 dimensions.